The answer to that question, I think it's relatively clear that the Industrial Revolution is over, and that the way the world is headed is that, you know, big companies and small companies who don't embrace the spirit behind, I guess, what I'll call reinvention, are not gonna make it. And I think if you look at, let's just take a big current example of the automotive industry in the United States. When the automotive industry in the United States was at its peak, I think you could argue that they were creative. They were entrepreneurial. The guys who really made GM and Ford and Chrysler were entrepreneurs. They were creative guys. The cars that we had in the United States back in the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s were the best cars in the world. They were the coolest cars in the world, at least for mass market. They were, and it was because there was a passion around design, and there was an emotion to the design, and there was a spirit of there was a nimble quality to the way that those companies worked, and they lost that. And I think you see what happens when companies lose their way when it comes to that. When they stop reinventing who they are and what they can be and how they can connect with people, whether it's automotive companies or computer companies. You guys are probably too young to remember, but there have been a lot of computer companies that have come and gone by the wayside too, because they made a widget, they made that widget well, and then they stopped. And so to be successful, even if you're, you know, it's not so much necessarily being a single entrepreneur, it's the spirit of entrepreneurialism, which really is the thing that drives successful companies. If you look at Apple, if you look at Nike, those are two companies that have never, well, for brief periods, but may have lost their way when it comes to that thing, but they've reclaimed them. And they're always trying to come up with the next thing. They're never really satisfied with where they are. They're always trying to figure out how they can be of service or a utility to the people that they serve, their customers. So those are two big companies, but I think they embrace the values that it takes to be successful as we go forward. And I think that's something that's a reason for hope for us. I think going forward, it's all about looking for new and better ways to move life forward, which I think is actually a tagline for one of our clients. I'm sounding like an ad as I'm talking, but so yeah, I'd say it's key to the success of our economy. I think it's key to the success of our country, and I think it's a great reason for hope.